Hi Graceful women, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're joining us for the first time. On this space, we are all about being elegant, godly women and embracing our true identity. There are certain things that I have witnessed that have prompted me to make this video. As elegant, godly women, we should know that not everything is right for the stage. There is something stage lighting does to your appearance that requires a lot more intentionality when you're choosing your outfit for the stage. I know that we have big dreams and we have desires to stand on platforms and minister in whatever manner to hundreds or thousands of persons. That is good, but when you get on that stage, what would you be representing? I remember there was one time I was listening to a sermon and I was watching this video on YouTube, and the female minister, who happens to be someone I respect a lot, happened to get on stage and she wore a very tight-fitted jeans. Now these were not even distressed jeans, they were just regular skinny jeans. But because this minister happens to be very well endowed and these jeans happen to be very fitted, even I got distracted by what I was looking at, and it was quite distracting for me. So I was even now imagining what would have been the fate of the men who were present physically at this particular conference. Now, wearing skinny jeans in itself, it's not necessarily bad, but to be going up on stage with an outfit that reveals every bit of your curve, it is quite unacceptable. One thing you should always have in mind when you are picking outfits for your stage is I do not want anything that is distracting or enhancing my sex appeal. Actually, you should never at any point in time intentionally wear anything that enhances your sex appeal as an elegant, godly woman, but particularly when you're going to be on stage. So, that being said, here are some outfits that you should avoid whenever you have an opportunity to be on stage, irrespective of where this stage is. Of course, first off, extremely tight-fitted clothes, whether they are skirts, pants, jeans, dresses, whatever it is. If these clothes are extremely tight-fitted, I'm talking bodycon, spandex, this kind of stuff, just try to avoid them when you're going on stage. Unless you have the appropriate covering for these outfits, avoid them. They may be revealing things that you may not necessarily see without the stage lights. Another thing that you should avoid are bright colors that are not appropriately matched. Now, I know you may think that you have it all locked down when it comes to matching colors, but trust me, if one thing is off and you're on stage, it's going to be so visible because you have all these lights on you, and so the mismatch of your colors or even your patterns will be so visible, and it may be distracting to the persons who are listening to you or watching you. So whenever you're going on stage, try to keep your colors as simple and as appropriately matched as possible. Another thing you should avoid is too much makeup. I cannot overemphasize on this. When you're going up on stage, ensure to keep your makeup simple. Even though you are in the hands of a very good makeup artist, ensure to emphasize that they keep it simple and as neutral as possible, because when you go on stage and you have all these lights on you, you do not want them bouncing off too much bronzers and blushes, because that will definitely be distracting to the persons listening to you. So when you're going on stage, keep your makeup as light and as simple as possible. As a matter of fact, wearing loud makeup is not something that you should subscribe to generally as an elegant woman. Your makeup should not be making a noise. They should be making a statement. Another thing that you want to avoid is too much bling. You do not want to look like a disco ball on stage. Now imagine all that stage light bouncing off the studs on your dress, and you have studs on your dress, you have studs on your earrings, studs on your skirt, studs on your shoes, you know, everything is all blingy, blingy, blingy. You would look like a disco ball. Try to keep your outfit simple. I'm not saying you should dress in a boring manner. Of course, you can have one or two blings here and there. It is okay, but just try to keep it as simple and as put together as possible. Because when you get on stage and there's so much bling on you, it will bounce off the stage light and you may even appear distorted in pictures. So you want to keep your bling as simple as possible when you're going on stage. Another thing that you should avoid when you're going on stage is bright colored hair. Now I know not everyone subscribes to keeping their hair in their natural color all the time. Some persons do not mind, having their hair a little bit more color than the natural state. But when you're going on stage is not when you want to wear your blue wigs. Trust me. You do not want to wear anything that will be distracting, and definitely brightly colored hair. I'm talking orange hair, blue hair, green hair. They can be distracting at times. I know some persons may say that there is a way to wear them and they would not look too loud. This may be true, but it is better to keep them for when you are off the stage. And when you are going on stage, go for something more natural looking, even though it may have a hint of a color. And finally, uncomfortable shoes. You may be able to get away with uncomfortable shoes when you're off the stage, but when you're on stage, especially if you have to stand for a while, it will definitely be visible if your shoes are uncomfortable. I mean, I have seen people be on stage and they've had to take off their shoes in the middle of their sermons, ministrations, TED Talks, or whatever. I know it may be, them just being human, them just being themselves, but what if you wore comfortable shoes in the first place? So, when you're going on stage, ensure that the shoes that you're wearing are very comfortable. And if for any reason you have to take it off on stage, everyone can understand why, and not just the simple fact that they are uncomfortable. And I'm sure you do not want to be that person that keeps wobbling their legs on stage because their shoes are uncomfortable. So go for comfortable shoes when next you're going on stage. Now let me re-emphasize that these things I have mentioned are things that may be okay off the stage but are not necessarily appropriate for the stage. So next time you are going on stage, do well to take all of this into consideration. And I must also say this, that these things only apply to those of us who desire to be elegant, godly women. I hope you have learned a thing or two from this video. Do well to share this video with your fellow graceful women, and remember to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll be seeing you in my next video with more tips.